We just witnessed the beautiful side of football. We've had a season in the Prem, especially where people are talking about haram ball and everything like that. And last night really just brought it to the forefront that, you know, football can still be beautiful and it's not perfect. But honestly, the Bayern and Real Madrid game was amazing. It was amazing. Even the first leg. So I want to say, like, if you watch my video from the first leg, I mentioned a few things that I think came to fruition here. There were a lot of chances. I actually had Real Madrid going through because although Bayern won at the Bernabeu, there were so many chances created by Real Madrid in that first leg. And I was like, if they just put away like one or two of those, they're in control. They just didn't. And it was the same last night, to be honest with you. If you actually look at the XG, Real Madrid had a higher XG. But let's just go through the game. Let's go through the game. So in the first minute, Manuel Neuer makes a mistake. And look, I said it last week as well. I think Manuel Neuer is overrated. But last week, in the first leg, he played incredibly well. He's a very good keeper. Like, I'm not saying he's crap or anything. But I feel as though people say, oh, he's an all-time great, best keeper in like 21st century and everything. I don't believe that at all. I think he can pull off some amazing saves. And look, we saw the best of him last week. But this was the worst of him. Being nonchalant, trying to play a pass out, and Arda Güler with an amazing finish, like quality finish. 1-0 within the first minute. You're thinking, oh my God, we have a game on our hands straight away. But then the biggest weakness in both of these legs for Real Madrid was their keeper. Not having Thibaut Courtois was a massive miss. And you saw that for the first goal for Bayern, for Pavlovic from the corner. Because to be honest, Thibaut Courtois would have punched that clear. Like, the corner comes in from Kimmich and Pavlovic just kind of like is there on the line to nod it home. I think it would have gone in without Pavlovic's interference, to be honest with you. I don't know what Lunin was doing. My man comes out and he like gets caught behind everyone and he ends up like in the goal before the ball's even gone into the goal. Stupid keeper. Honestly, I was like, what is happening here? And then Real Madrid get a free kick on the edge of the area and Trent's lining up for it and you're thinking Trent's probably going to take this. Arda Güler steps up and puts it top right corner. It's weird like how it was such a good free kick, but Manuel Neuer, like, he kind of like walked across to get it and I was like, what? I don't know. And more conventional people would try and like dive and save it. And I was thinking, could he have saved it if you dived for it instead of trying to walk across? I don't know. That was just my opinion. I was like, what is this guy doing? But honestly, sick free kick. And now I'm thinking, look, 2-1 on aggregate, it's even. This is going to go all the way. I'm seeing extra time coming. And then Deo Upamecano, who we actually, again, like I said last week about Trent, I think we saw the good and bad of Upamecano here because I'll be real, like when I was younger, when I used to play Football Manager back in the day, Upamecano was always like a wonder kid and I always used to sign him and he was amazing. And I started watching him in real life at like Leipzig and whatnot and I was thinking, he's got a mistake in him. And I don't think that's ever left him. And last night, you actually saw the good bits of his game. Like, he is strong and he can shield the ball and whatnot. And he actually assisted Harry Kane's goal very well, I thought. And Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does best, gets his goal. And at that point in time, it's 2-2. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know where this is going. I know there's going to be more chances, there's going to be more goals. But it's, again, it is the midfield that, what made this entertaining as a whole tie was, in both games, the midfield just couldn't control the game, which you might say, oh, that's a detriment to football, but it made it entertaining. It made it end to end. But none of the midfielders could really just get a foothold in the game. So now it's 2-2. And then Kylian Mbappe, who this whole game, I thought he was very, very good. Very good. I think he's starting to find his feet this year, even at the end of last year a little bit, but it's still, he's found his feet within the team. However, it's still to the team's detriment, and I'll go on to that in a bit. But Mbappe was really good last night, and he took his goal really well. I think he was a constant nuisance, and it was 3-2 just before half-time. And, yeah, like, anything was going to happen in the second half. You just didn't know where it was going to go. Now, let's get on to the sub of Camavinga, because people say this changed the game massively, and yes, it probably did. So Camavinga comes on in the 62nd minute, and I love Camavinga. Like Camavinga as a player, when he was linked to Real Madrid, so he went there, basically he was linked to Man United and Real Madrid, and I was gutted when we didn't sign him because I love that profile of player. A defensive mid who's got legs, it's very tenacious in the tackle, can actually play a pass, and is good with both feet. He's got a lot about him. Like, he's very, very good. And you saw he wasn't the finished article at that age. I think he was like 19 or something. But there was like, you know, the characteristics to be something amazing. The only thing that's disappointed me about Camavinga is I don't think he's developed much since he's gone there. I still think he's good, but he's not reliable enough. And I think you saw that last night. So he gets a yellow card, which was a tactical yellow. That was actually good experience, to be honest, because Bayern were on the counter and he had to take that yellow. Now, the second yellow that he received, he made a foul. Yep, it was a foul. It wasn't yellow. And then he kind of like grabbed the ball and then just took it away. He didn't boot it away, though. And I think it was a bit harsh sending him off. I'll be real with you. I think it was a bit dumb from what he did. But I just think a second yellow for that is not warranted. If he physically kicked the ball away, I get it. But he didn't do that. So I was a bit miffed as to why he got that. And that was basically game, set, and match there, because Luis Diaz, who, again, I said this in the first leg, he's a nuisance. He's not amazing, really. Like, I was really thinking when he joined Liverpool, I thought they've got someone here like to replace Mane, like someone amazing. And he had a good first 6 months or year, I think, and then he kind of fell off a bit. But one thing that you can never doubt about Luis Diaz is he's going to score. Like, he gets in good positions and he misses a few, but he's more clinical than not, especially from that wide position. And yes, it took a little deflection off Eder Militao, but I thought he just goes in and does his thing. Like, fair play. And yeah, look, it was at that point in time, it was 89th minute, and you're thinking, game's done. And it was, because there was a counter attack where it ended up with Elise on the end of it, and Elise just like delightfully just left foot top bins, like comes off the post, I think, as well, in stoppage time, puts the game to bed. 4-3 Bayern Munich, and they go away and they go through in the end. But there are a few players I just want to highlight in this game, because this is the second season in a row where Real Madrid have finished with no major silverware, which I think it's the first time in 16 years that's happened. Probably means that Arbeloa is not going to get this job like full time, right? But there were a few. Like I said, let's talk about the players. So Lunin, like I said, if they had Thibaut Courtois, this is Real Madrid go through. I'm a big believer in that. Now, Eder Militao, he has had some horrific injuries. And I'll be real with you. I've never been like, oh my God, he's amazing. But when he plays, more often than not, he actually plays very well. And last night, I thought he played very, very well. If this guy had stayed injury-free, we'd be probably talking about top 5 centre-backs in the world right now. But unfortunately, injuries have fucked him. I thought Rudiger played pretty well last night as well. I think he's got a bozo gene in him, but for the most part, I thought he played really well. I thought Ferland Mendy had a very underrated game. I thought he was very, very good. And he's that player, like, he's not amazing, but he's quite steady. And I feel like that gets overlooked a lot in this game. Then we had Trent right back. And like I said this is what I literally said last week. You see the best and worst of Trent in this game again. Going forward, incredible. No one has this ability from that position in the world that Trent has. No one can match him. But he switched off for the Harry Kane goal. And like I said last week, he switched off for a goal that got him behind him. I got a lot of stick for saying that on social media, on TikTok, saying that people were like, oh, he didn't get dribble pass or something like that in the first game. But he literally let Luis Diaz, I think it was last week, come in behind him and scored a goal. And this week it was similar with the Kane goal. Like, he switches off for a second and someone's in behind him. He needs to stop doing that. Like, it's a lack of concentration, or just maybe a lack of understanding of where he's meant to be positionally on the pitch. I don't know. But then he did play like A great ball to Mbappe, actually, which I think Mbappe should have finished off, but it is what it is. Now, as I said in the first leg, when Bellingham came on the pitch, he changed the game. And today he started, he was incredible. Jude Bellingham, if you're not starting for England, I don't know, wagwan for Tom Tuchel, man, because yeah, you're insane. You're, for me, England's best player. And yeah, incredible engine. Like, he did all he could last night. It just didn't come off, obviously, because of circumstances. But yeah, Fede Valverde had his left foot shot, and I was like, oh my God, that's going in. But no, I love Fede Valverde. And again, he's shown his worth, like just being able to adapt. When Brahim Diaz went off, he went to the right. Camavinga went to the middle. So this guy's jack of all trades, and like, honestly, amazing player. A really good performance from him. I thought Brahim Diaz played all right, actually. I know he got taken off for Camavinga, but you know, he's always looking to progress the ball forward. Arda Güler, I don't need to say anything more. Man got 2 goals, 2 amazing finishes with both of them, and really deserved to be a winner in this game for real. Mbappe, like I've said, he is getting better at turning up, and I think we saw the best of Mbappe last night in terms of the quick feet, the dribbling, the quick turns and whatnot. That's what we were seeing like in his PSG career, especially early on, where he's using his pace and his agility to get past people. And I feel like he's gone away from that a little bit at Real Madrid, but last night he was insane. He was insane, and he should have scored more, to be honest with you. And now let's go on to Vinny Jr. I've spoken about Vinny Jr. a couple of times. Although Mbappe's upset the apple cart in terms of the chemistry of this team, the reason is because both Mbappe and Vinny Jr. like to play off the left. And even with Rodrigo. So when Real Madrid was successful a couple of years ago, they had Rodrigo on the right, Vinny on the left, and Jude playing almost as like a false 9. And it worked. The balance was amazing. Even though Rodrigo always prefers playing on the left, he played on the right and did it very well. When Mbappe came in, you had 2 men want to play off the left. And even Rodrigo, low-key, wants to play there, but he can still hold the width there on the right. Mbappe's starting to find his feet, but it's to the detriment of Vinny. And Vinny needs to figure out how to adapt to this situation quickly, because since that season where he probably should have won the Ballon d'Or, where Rodri won it, he's fallen off, man. And he thinks he's better than he is. My guy thinks he is like what Neymar was 10 years ago to Brazil, or what Ronaldinho or R9 were 20 years ago for Brazil. He thinks he's that guy for Brazil. Bro, you're not at that quality. I think that if you think you're that for Brazil, that says more about the quality of Brazilian football right now rather than your ability, if that makes sense. I just think he thinks he's better than he is. He's believing his own hype. And he needs to humble himself a little bit, because he could have scored a couple of goals last night easily. And in the first leg, he missed some chances. He is the person that lost this tie for Real Madrid. He could have at least easily scored 4 goals in this tie, and he just didn't take the opportunities to. I think he's a very good player, and I think pre-Ballon d'Or, that shit show, he was incredible. But what's happened. Leave it in the past. You got to move on, man. And I just don't think he's been able to do that. He needs to adapt to Mbappe. And I'm going to give you an example to this. Is Semenyo and Haaland at Man City. Haaland is the main goal threat, right? Has been since he's come. And he's been banging in goals. Semenyo comes, and he's actually occupying the same positions that Haaland does. And Semenyo's scoring and Haaland isn't. Now, Haaland, I think, found it hard for the first few games to adapt to that. But now it seems as though he's okay with not scoring every game, and it's helping the team. Although it looks shitter for him in terms of stats, he's adapted his game in order to help the team. Vinny has not done that, and I think he really needs to really get the best out of Mbappe as well, and just better for the team, man. Like, I just think he's super selfish. I'll be real with you. Yeah, that's my view on it. And then I'm going to quickly just go over some players on Bayern, not everyone. Manuel Neuer, I've said what I've said. I think he's overrated. And yeah, look, we saw the best. He had made some couple of good saves actually last night. We saw the best and worst of him last night. I think that's what he is. Upamecano, I've mentioned him. Saw the best and worst of him last night as well. And now Elise. So I said on TikTok a couple of days ago that Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now. Someone tried to argue with me and said that what about Mbappe, Vini Jr.? And they all said Elise. Mbappe and Vini Jr. are not on the same level as Yamal right now. Elise is the closest person. And he showed that last night again. This guy is incredible. Like, and again, it's down to temperament. Like I said with Yamal, their temperament is so, they're not fazed by anything. Like, nothing phases them. And I think it works to their advantage. And last night he was really, really good. Luis Diaz, like I said, a nuisance. But he gets his goal, man. He gets his goal. And Harry Kane, customary goal. He didn't play amazing last night, but he gets his goal. And that's all that's needed, really. And honestly, a great advert for football in general. And I think that this year, Bayern, PSG, and Real Madrid are all on the same level in terms of, I think they're the three best teams in the Champions League this year. And I think games between any of those three will always be close. So that's why Bayern PSG now, I think it's going to be super close. I don't think either team is going to dominate the other one. I think it'll be similar to this game, to be honest with you. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then let's quickly just touch upon my favourite topic, Arsenal, who got a 0-0 draw at home to Sporting. Fantastic. Yeah, man, you guys are sick. I was hoping Sporting would do something, and I saw the highlights when they hit the post and stuff, and I was like, oh my God. But look, fair play to Arsenal. They've gone through. I think they'll get battered by Atletico Madrid, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think in the final, whoever they face, if they do get through Atletico Madrid, if it's PSG, I think Atletico Madrid or Arsenal get battered in the final, whoever it is they face. I think this side of the draw wins the Champions League. And yeah, honestly, I'm not got much to report on that game, but I did see a bit of AFTV before I went to sleep, and I like the Yardman guy because he actually speaks truth, in my opinion. Lee Judges, I really like him. I get where he's coming from, but Robbie, I hate Robbie, man. Robbie, like, he's become a politician now. Like, he's literally just like trying to avoid questions at all costs. And how can you say like the people were satisfied with last night's performance? It was a 0-0 at home to Sporting, who are crap. Beats me, man. Anyway, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so anyway. Hey, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. You're getting daily vids here on all sports, mainly football, obviously. But I'm going to plan on doing something NBA related very soon, because the play-ins and playoffs are now starting. So really excited by that. That is the best time of the NBA season for me. But yeah, anyway, peace.